Stan, you said something that really got my creative thing going. You want to be heard, but not be great.
No. My goal is to be heard, not to be the greatest.
What is greatest? What is greatness, I should say?
Okay, let's take this rap industry. When you think of hip hop, when you think about the top greats, you automatically think of people like Biggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, you know.
Depending on how old you are.
Yeah, right? Depending on your era or whatever.
Yeah.
My goal isn't to top any of them. My goal is to have my own place. At the end of the day,
platform.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm Stan. So if I look back at my career and I'm not bigger than Jay-Z, I don't have as much of a legacy that Jay-Z have, but I do have my fan base, and I do, like, you know, I work at what it is that I'm trying to do, and then I'm satisfied.
Khalid, same question.
With this day and age, with the new generation, I just feel like when you anybody can come out as an artist and make their stance, make their standpoint. So like you can be great to your own degree, to your based on who can relate to you, based on your fan base, and you can acclaim your own title.
However, that's not to say like you know, I ain't trying to I'm still coming for y'all.
Yeah,
I'm still coming for y'all.
You're putting your best foot forward. You're putting out your best quality.
Yeah, it's
stuff.
just I'm not.
This is you as an artist.
It's just I'm not them. You know what I mean? Like
Maybe your own lane. You know?
Yeah.
I hear you, but see, that bothers me a little bit, and I'm gonna tell you why. Part of being great is not wanting to be everybody else, but knowing that you can be great. Some of the greats that I never heard are appreciated in other ways. Let's come off of hip hop for a second, because what you said really got me thinking. Is Stan Lee one of the greatest?
Yes.
Why?
Because of everything he's done. Now I'm so glad we chose him as an example. I don't think Stan Lee has ever name another comic book.
Jack Kirby.
Right? Now, why you know that, but why is it when you think of comics, the first person you think of is Stan Lee?
Because Stan Lee won a major court battle that made him the greatest. Because he was one of the few that ever got paid residuals from the work that he made that was stolen from him. He's not my greatest, but he's one of the greatest.
Exactly.
So going back to now, let's take it back to music. Biggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, they're not the greatest to me personally, but they're amongst the greats.
Now, you get my point, right? So at the end of the day, to somebody, you take somebody like Biggie, who's considered one of the greatest, and not to everybody, he's not the greatest. Like, Biggie's not my favorite rapper. My favorite rapper is Eminem. There are rappers who's better than Eminem, but in my opinion, I want to listen to an Eminem track, and that's what I mean. Like, this is about to be some controversial shit.
Then drop it.
I consider Eminem the greatest lyricist of all time. I put him above the Tupacs, the Biggies. Now, listen to what I just said. I consider him as the greatest lyricist, the ability to put a pen, like his pen, to the paper. I'm not saying he's the greatest rapper, right? Now, that's my opinion. Someone else may disagree with that.
Like me, but
right? So, like, this, now it sparked a conversation, right? It's a debate that will go on. It can, I can go on forever as to why I said that, as to why I felt that way.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it's all an opinionated era we live in. So my goal, like, I'm at the end of the day, I'm gonna have that competitive side where I want to top the next, but I don't care to be at the top, because in my head I'm at the top already. Like, I feel like I'm better than a lot of people, but your opinion may be different. You may like someone else.
Khalid, you feel the same way?
To an extent, but like I said, it's really about like how you said, making your own lane and running with it. You can, I can perfect my craft all day and be the greatest at what I do, and just have that chance to sit next to somebody that's that can
consider great.
Yeah, consider.
I just
great.
want that foot. Like I just want that my foot in the door, seat at that table with the greats. It's up to you to decide
Who is greater?
who is greater. So
you just want to be in the conversation.
Yeah,
Now, that's my problem with considering who's the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
Who's great.
I personally.
What is the
hate that.
definition of perfect?
Can't do no wrong.
Wrong. That is not the definition of perfect. What is the, not a definition, because that is a definition of perfection.
Okay.
But what is the definition of perfect? Okay. You got another crack at it? Go ahead. I mean, I'll give it to you.
I mean, no, I see where you're going. So it's like I'm all ears now. Like I'm really curious about this.
In our language, perfect has the wrong definition. It has a subject meaning.
Exactly.
Just like judgment. When Tupac said only God could judge me, every idiot in the world ran with it and used judge me and judgment wrong instead of using it as for what judgment really means. A judgment means a decision. Every person can judge you, but no person can condemn you.
Exactly.
So we mix judgment with condemnation. And when we talk about great and perfect, we get those definitions confused. Because to be perfect does not mean to be flawless.
Exactly.
Perfect means to be balanced. So you could do a wrong, but you could do something to make the wrong right.
But
And this is all your life is. So when becoming great and wanting to be put in the door, we get this thing where, who's your top five? My top five is better than yours, and this person's better, this person's better.
Yeah.
And that's why when you said greatest and her, I wanted to know where your minds go, because as you make projects, your project is like if you have a baby. All right, that project is your baby. And how dare someone ever say your baby's ugly? Because as a parent, you'll smack the ish out of someone. So that's why, as I learned as I got older, stop saying things are corny or whack, because that's that person's expression. So it may not just be for you, but it doesn't mean that it's trash or it's corny. It's if they play with your senses. Like me, I think Post Malone was corny. I think he's whack. I think everything he ever sings on is toilet paper, for real. Now, it can be good music to some people, but this is why I say it. Is because I know how they use Post Malone to get at people of color and use their creation against them.
But yeah, exactly. That's
But it's not his music that makes him that to me. It's how they use it to get to people to say to think that that's the standard of music. That's what bothers me. Stephanie Mills once said in an interview, the thing that bothers her about music today is as long as people are Caucasian doing soulful music is great, but people of color do soulful music is not wanted. That's what makes me hate certain things. I don't hate Eminem. I don't even hate what he stands for. I hate how he was used and how he shitted on people that was with him. But he's a great artist. You'll never take that from him. I think Lose Yourself, one of the best songs ever made. Period. But in context to you as an artist, because none of us are living off of hip hop the way they do. You as an artist to be amongst the greats, you have to crack the barrier of personal doubt on you, personal opinion on you, and the status quo and the money on them. So to end this part of the questioning, I ask you this. How do you protect yourself, your brand, and your creation while trying to aspire to be amongst the greats, but never compromise your position to create and be thrown away with the trash?
Well, it honestly it comes in. First, you have to perfect your craft. So at the end of the day, you gotta take your mind off of what they want, who you're against. You gotta make sure that your stuff is right. The step out of your craft, you gotta still keep your ear keep your you still have to keep your ear out, because at the same time you want to perfect your craft, but you have to fight against, you know, the
Status quo.
Yeah, you gotta fight against that. So I feel like at the end of the day, it will still be a struggle.
It's a
you know, you
compromise.
can't make everybody happy.
This goes back to what you said about perfect. That's why I was like so curious to hear what you had to say about that. It's like, also adding to what he said, it's like I'm gonna figure out what it is I want and make a compromise. That's really compromise. That's the big word. It's just a compromise. How can I incorporate what you want, what I want? Because at the end of the day, everybody's just looking out for themselves. That is just the sad truth. So, what is it that I'm gonna benefit from what it is you are offering me? It's really that simple. So, to go answering that, going back to the statement. I'm the greatest. Like that. Like that's. I'm my own.
Yeah.
I'm my own great person or entity, because I just feel like that question comes down to an opinionated argument.
So then I ask you this, and we're gonna end it like this, because that was such a dope ending, yo. Perception is life.
Yes.
And everything you perceive is not true.
Exactly.
It's a truth.
Exactly.
1 + 1.
2.
1 + 1.
2.
Why can't 1 + 1 be 1?
Exactly.
Why can't 1 + 1 be 3?
Now, when you have stuff like that, that goes down to
Perception. 1 + 1 is 2.
Mm-hmm.
If I add 2 objects together, if I add 1 object and 1 object, now I have 2 objects.
Mm-hmm.
1 + 1 is 1. A man and a woman together is a couple.
Yeah.
That's 1. 1 + 1 is 3. A man and a woman get together, have a child. That's a family. It's 3 members.
Exactly.
So it's all perception in the way that we use what we know, what we perceive, and what we experience.
Exactly.
So the best thing about not to be taken lightly is that it's musical experience, not just song and rhythm.
Exactly.
You have to understand that on this project, Stan is still a beast at rapping, but he upped his game in production. And that Khalidatnight is a beast that wants to eat. He has to just come out his cage and show everybody he's willing to scratch for him.
Exactly. So, to add one more thing, and to add to what you're saying, because that was very spot on, is basically, not to be taken lightly is not a project for the industry. It's not a project for, and I'm not talking about what we're talking about. Just hear me out. The project is basically saying, like, at the end of the day, you can be great and not be where you see yourself. Like, I'm pretty sure at the beginning of Michael Jordan's career, he didn't score all those points, but he was still great at what he was doing.
Okay.
It's about the journey. It's not about the destination, and that's what this project is. The project is the journey. The project is the beginning.
And getting my foot in the door as an artist to showcase that I can rap.
But the difference between Khalid and Stan versus everybody else is, like, we're not afraid to show our mistakes.